If you are watching this right now, stop scrolling. Because this is not a coincidence. This is not random. And this is not just another video the algorithm decided to throw onto your screen. You've been chosen for this season, but only if you open this now and stay with me until the very last word. Because what I'm about to tell you will explain almost everything strange, uncomfortable, and confusing that has been happening in your life over the last few weeks. Maybe you have felt a shift you cannot explain. Maybe you have felt tired for no reason, distant from people you used to be close to, restless at night, and strangely awake at 3 in the morning staring at the ceiling, wondering what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are being prepared. And if you leave this video in the next 10 seconds, you will miss the exact information that will make sense of everything you have been silently going through. So take a breath, get comfortable, and let this moment be the one you look back on as the turning point of your entire year, because that is exactly what it is about to become. There is a reason certain people get pulled toward a message like this one at the exact right time. You did not stumble onto this by accident. Somewhere inside you, a part of you already knew something was coming, even before you clicked play. That feeling of being unsettled, of sensing that your life is about to change, even though nothing visible has happened yet, is one of the clearest signs that you are entering what many call a chosen season. A chosen season is not about luck. It is not about being better than anyone else. It is about being selected quietly and without warning to carry something heavier, learn something deeper, and become someone stronger than the version of you that exists right now. And the strange part is, most people who are chosen do not feel special while it is happening. They feel confused. They feel behind. They feel like everyone else is moving forward while they are stuck standing still. If that sounds like you, keep listening, because I'm about to explain exactly why that feeling is not a punishment. It is a preparation. Think about how nature works for a moment. Before a tree produces its most abundant harvest, it goes through a season where it looks completely bare. No leaves, no fruit, nothing visible on the surface. To someone watching from a distance, it might look like the tree is dying, but underground, in the dark hidden from every eye, the roots are stretching deeper than they have ever stretched before. The tree is not dying. It is preparing to hold more weight than it has ever held. This is exactly what is happening in your life right now, even if you cannot see it. The quiet, the waiting, the strange sense that everything has slowed down. This is not stagnation, this is root season, and root season always comes right before the harvest that changes everything. I want you to think back to the last few months. Has anything about your life quietly reset without your permission? A friendship that faded without a dramatic ending? A job that suddenly felt unbearable when it used to feel fine? A relationship that ended and left you more relieved than heartbroken, even if you told people otherwise? A sudden loss of interest in things that used to excite you, like scrolling through your phone, going out, or even certain conversations that once felt important. If even one of these resonates with you, that is not depression, that is not a coincidence, and that is not you falling apart. That is your old season closing, so the new one can begin. And here's the part most people never realize until years later. Looking back with clarity, the ending of the old season is often more painful than the arrival of the new one, because closing a chapter always feels like loss before it feels like freedom. Now stay with me, because the next part is the exact reason you were guided to this video today. And if you close this now, you will miss the one sign that ties everything together. Chosen people almost always go through a period of isolation right before their breakthrough, not because they are being punished, but because breakthroughs cannot happen in noise. You cannot hear the quiet instructions meant for your next level if you are surrounded by people who are only comfortable with your old self. This is why so many people who are on the edge of something incredible suddenly feel disconnected from their friend group, their family gatherings, even their own daily routines. It is uncomfortable. It is lonely. And it can feel like something is deeply wrong. But this isolation is not abandonment. It is protection. The universe, or whatever higher order you believe governs this life, is clearing your environment of anything and anyone that would slow down what is coming for you. If you have felt like you are the only one going through something like this, let me tell you about someone who felt exactly the same way. There was a woman who for years felt like she was falling behind everyone around her. Her friends were getting married, getting promoted, buying houses, posting their perfect lives online, while she felt stuck in the same apartment, the same job, the same routine that led nowhere. She used to cry quietly, wondering what was wrong with her, wondering why the universe seemed to be skipping her over and over again while blessing everyone else. But looking back now, she realized that every single door that closed during that painful waiting period was closing, so she would not walk into a life that was never meant for her. The job she did not get led her to the one that changed her entire career 2 years later. The relationship that ended in heartbreak made room for someone who actually saw her value. The friendships that faded made space for people who understood her without her having to explain herself. She did not know it at the time, but she was in her chosen season the entire time, and the waiting was the price of the becoming. I know some of you are tempted to close this video right now because it is hitting a little too close to home. Do not close it, because if you leave now, you will miss the one truth that connects every uncomfortable thing you have felt over the last few months into a single, clear, undeniable pattern. Chosen seasons always come with tests, and these tests are designed to reveal one thing: whether you will keep believing in your purpose even when there is no visible proof that it is coming. This is the part nobody talks about. It is easy to have faith when things are going well. It is easy to believe in your future when the signs are obvious. But the real test, the one that determines whether your breakthrough actually arrives, happens in the silence, in the waiting room, in the moments when nothing seems to be happening and every logical voice in your head is telling you to give up. Here are some of the signs that you are being tested before your elevation, and I want you to really listen closely, because these are rarely talked about in most videos like this one. The first sign is sudden resistance right before progress. You finally decide to change your life, to start that project, to apply for that opportunity, to walk away from something that no longer serves you, and almost immediately, obstacles appear out of nowhere. Your car breaks down. Unexpected bills show up. People suddenly try to discourage you or distract you. This is not the universe telling you to stop. This is the universe testing how committed you actually are, because chosen seasons are not given to people who quit at the first sign of difficulty. The second sign is the sudden appearance of doubt from people who claim to love you. When you start changing, growing, or pursuing something bigger than your old life, the people who are comfortable with your old self will often, without even meaning to, try to pull you back into who you used to be. This is not always malicious. Sometimes it comes from fear, sometimes from their own insecurity, sometimes from simply not understanding the version of you that is emerging. But you have to understand something important here. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into this next season, and that is not cruelty. That is just how growth works. Some people are seasonal, and their season with you has ended, even if the ending feels painful. The third sign, and this is the one that most people miss completely, is a strange sense of urgency mixed with complete uncertainty about what to do next. You feel like something big is coming, like time is speeding up, like you need to prepare, but you have no idea what you're actually preparing for. This feeling is one of the strongest indicators of a chosen season, because it means your spirit already knows something your mind has not caught up to yet. If you have felt this exact sensation recently, that restless urgency without a clear direction, I want you to know that it is not confusion. It is anticipation. Your body and your spirit are getting ready for an assignment that your logical mind has not been shown yet, and that is completely normal. Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain next is the part that changes how you see everything that has happened to you this year. And if you are still here, that is not an accident either. Every chosen season has a moment where everything shifts, and it almost never looks the way people expect. It does not usually arrive as a lightning bolt or a dramatic sign in the sky. It arrives quietly, often on an ordinary day, disguised as a small decision that seems insignificant at the time. A single message you decide to send, a single opportunity you decide to say yes to instead of talking yourself out of it, a single moment where you choose to believe in yourself for 5 more minutes instead of giving up. These small moments are the hinge points of chosen seasons, and most people walk right past them without realizing how important they are, because they are looking for something big and obvious, when the real shift is always small and quiet. This is why I need you to pay close attention to your life over the next few days, because if you have been feeling that strange pull, that sense that something is about to change, the shift may already be closer than you think. Watch for the small nudges. A thought that keeps returning to your mind no matter how many times you push it away. A person's name that keeps appearing in your life through conversations, memories, or even random encounters. A number sequence that catches your eye more often than feels normal. These are not superstitions, and I'm not asking you to believe in anything you're not comfortable with. I am simply asking you to pay attention, because chosen people are not chosen because they are lucky. They are chosen because they pay attention when everyone else is distracted. Now here is something I almost did not include in this video, because it is deeply personal. But I think it is exactly what some of you need to hear right now. There is a difference between waiting and preparing. Waiting is passive. It is sitting still, hoping something changes while you stay exactly the same. Preparing is active. It is using the uncomfortable, quiet, uncertain season to become the version of yourself who is capable of holding what is coming. If you spend this season only waiting, you will still receive your breakthrough eventually, but you may not be ready to sustain it. This is why so many people who receive sudden blessings, sudden money, sudden opportunities, sudden relationships, end up losing them shortly after. They were chosen, but they did not prepare. And preparation is the part that determines whether your season lasts or slips through your fingers. So what does preparing actually look like? It is not complicated, and it does not require you to change your entire personality overnight. It starts with the way you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. If every time something goes wrong, you tell yourself that you are cursed, unlucky, or destined to struggle forever, you are quietly closing the door on the very season you're asking for. Chosen people train themselves to speak differently, even in the middle of hard moments. Instead of saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" they learn to say, "This is preparing me for something." Instead of saying, "I will never get there," they learn to say, "I'm getting closer, even if I cannot see it yet." This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about refusing to let your words work against the very future you are trying to build. The second part of preparing is releasing the identity that no longer fits who you are becoming. This is often the hardest part because it can feel like losing a piece of yourself. But the truth is, you cannot carry a new season with an old identity. The version of you that survived the last few years, the one who learned to expect disappointment, the one who learned to settle, the one who learned to shrink in order to avoid rejection. That version served its purpose, but it cannot walk into what is coming next. You have to consciously decide to leave certain patterns behind, even the ones that once protected you. Because a chosen season demands a version of you that believes bigger than your past ever allowed. If everything I have said so far feels true to you, if you feel that strange recognition in your chest right now, I want you to do something simple. Comment the word chosen below this video, because what I'm about to share in the next few minutes is meant only for the people who are ready to receive it. And typing that word is a way of telling the universe, or telling yourself, that you're done waiting passively and you're ready to prepare actively. Now stay with me, because this next part is the reason so many people say this exact message found them at the perfect time in their life, almost like it was written specifically for them. There is a stage in every chosen season that feels the most confusing of all, and it usually happens right before the actual breakthrough. It is called the stripping stage. And if you understand what it is, you will never fear it again. The stripping stage is when everything that was once comfortable, familiar, and safe in your life suddenly feels unbearable. The job that used to feel fine now feels suffocating. The relationship that used to feel secure now feels limiting. The city you live in, the daily habits you follow, even the version of your own personality you have relied on for years. All of it starts to feel like a costume that no longer fits. Most people panic during this stage because they think something has gone wrong with them. Nothing has gone wrong. You are simply outgrowing the container your old life built for you. And outgrowing something always feels uncomfortable before it feels freeing. I want you to think about a snake shedding its skin. Right before a snake sheds, it becomes more vulnerable than at any other point in its life. Its vision becomes blurry. Its old skin becomes tight and irritating, and it often hides away from everything and everyone until the process is complete. If you disturbed a snake in the middle of shedding, it would seem weak, confused, almost lost, but that same snake, once the old skin is gone, moves faster, sees clearer, and grows larger than it ever could while trapped inside the skin it just left behind. This is exactly what is happening to you if you are in a stripping stage right now. You are not weak, you are shedding, And the discomfort you feel is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something extraordinary is finishing its process. Here is the turning point. I promised you at the very beginning of this video, the one thing that ties every single piece of what I have shared together into one complete truth. Being chosen for a season does not mean your life will suddenly become easy. It means your life will become meaningful in a way it never was before. Ease and meaning are not the same thing, and most people spend their whole lives chasing ease when what they were actually searching for all along was meaning. A chosen season will ask more of you, not less. It will stretch you in places you did not know could stretch. It will humble you in moments you expected to feel proud, but it will also give you a version of yourself that no comfortable, easy, unchosen life could ever produce. If you have been quietly begging for your life to change, understand that change was never going to come wrapped in comfort. It was always going to come wrapped in this exact discomfort you are feeling right now. If you're still watching this, if you have made it this far without closing the video, that is not willpower, that is confirmation. The people who were not ready for this message closed the video minutes ago without even realizing why. The fact that something inside you kept you here, kept you listening, kept you present through every uncomfortable truth I have shared, is proof that you are exactly who this message was meant to reach. You did not find this video. This video found you at the exact right time, in the exact right season, when you needed to hear it the most. So let me give you something practical before this video ends, because I never want to leave you with only inspiration and no direction. If you believe even a little that you're in a chosen season right now, there are 3 things you can start doing today that will accelerate everything you have been waiting for. The first is to stop explaining your changes to people who only knew your old self. You do not owe everyone an explanation for why you are quieter now, why you are more focused now, why you are choosing differently now. Some transformations are meant to be lived, not explained, and the moment you stop trying to justify your growth to people who cannot understand it yet, you free up an enormous amount of energy that can be redirected toward actually becoming who you are meant to be. The second thing is to start treating your intuition as information, not as random noise. If you keep feeling pulled towards something, whether it is a skill, an idea, a person, or even a place, stop dismissing it as nothing. Chosen seasons often communicate through repetition. If the same idea keeps returning to you, if the same dream keeps appearing, if the same nudge keeps showing up in different forms, that repetition is not your imagination being bored. It is your inner guidance trying to get your attention because your logical mind is usually too busy, too scared, or too distracted to notice subtle signals the first time they appear. The third thing, and this is the one people resist the most, is to make peace with the waiting instead of resenting it. Resentment toward your current circumstances creates a kind of internal resistance that actually slows down the very change you're asking for. This does not mean pretending to be happy about being stuck. It means accepting where you are right now as a temporary chapter instead of a permanent identity. There is a massive difference between saying, "I am stuck," and saying, "I am in a waiting season." One feels like a life sentence. The other feels like a temporary stop on the way to somewhere better. And the way you label your current situation directly affects how quickly you move through it. I know this video has covered a lot, and I know some parts of it may have felt uncomfortably close to your own life, maybe even a little too accurate to feel like a coincidence. That discomfort is not something to run from. It is confirmation that you were exactly the person this message was meant to reach today. Out of everyone scrolling right now, out of every video available for you to watch in this exact moment, something led you here, kept you here, and held your attention long enough to hear every single word of this. That is not random. That is your season announcing itself, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to finally notice. Before you go, I want you to say this quietly to yourself, even if it feels strange at first, because words carry more weight than most people realize. Say, "I am ready for this season." Even the parts that scare me. Say it again if you need to. Let it settle into you. Because the version of you that finishes watching this video and actually believes those words is not the same version of you that pressed play a few minutes ago. Something has shifted. Even if it feels small right now, even if you cannot point to exactly what changed, that shift is the beginning. And every single big transformation you have ever heard about in anyone's life started with a shift this small, this quiet, and this easy to miss if you were not paying attention. If this video reached you at the right time, if any part of it felt like it was speaking directly to your life, stay close. Because seasons like this do not announce themselves loudly, and the people who miss them are usually the ones who were not paying attention when it mattered most. You were paying attention today. Do not stop now. This is only the beginning of what this season has for you, and you were chosen to see it through, but only if you keep showing up the way you showed up for this exact video, all the way to this very last word.